So today we coming with a unorthodox type of topic. Something that her and T and myself kind of talked about last week, and we got like kind of deep a little bit. Basically it was about finances and time management,
right?
And how people how can I say it, how do we balance these things out in our daily life,
Right?
You know what I'm saying? Dealing with the personal time, the relationship time,
right?
the family time, the work time,
right?
and friendships. How do we balance all of these things out,
Right?
even still going to work, trying to make some money, and trying not to like live below, like try to live modestly,
Right?
or sometimes we do go a little bit over.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those ones that, one of those situations that we try to figure out, how do we balance all of these things out? How do we balance out a checkbook, or how do we have good time management when it comes down to our personal lives?
Right?
And how do we succeed, given our family that's behind us, our kids, or trying to build our legacy? Like how are we trying to do this?
I have a question. Do you feel that some people answer might be balance is really not the word? Like some people probably feel that having a balance is not real. Like it's no such thing as having balance. Some people might feel that way.
Right. So
some people might be like, no, it's no such thing as balance.
So I say, how can you conclude that? Like how could you come to that conclusion?
Right.
When at the end of the day, that's what you have to do. You have to balance the time. Let's say if you were married, between your spouse and with your kids.
Yes, and work. Yes,
you
got to pay the bills.
Right. So
yes.
And we're not talking about people that's making millions and all of that stuff, but we know that they give a lot of time to their job.
They do.
But let's say if they were like a child that were fortunate to have a parent that worked hard when they were young till they got older,
right?
And they don't have nothing but time.
Okay.
Like that's a difference, but we're not talking about those people.
Right,
We talking about reality, like
everyday life.
Right. People like you and I.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So yeah, we have to balance that out. So for people that don't think there is a such thing as balance, I would question you. And if you feel that way, drop it in the comments. So how we gonna begin this? Or which one you think is important?
So finance and budgeting, that's what we're talking about right now.
You want to do the finances? Want to talk about the finances?
Yeah, we can talk about the finance and budgeting.
Okay.
Finances, we're not financial experts.
That's what I just getting ready to say.
Please let me add that. And we already concluded. Listen, I just needed to state that. You was going to say that?
Yes. Okay. I actually was going to say, listen, we're not tax professionals.
Nope.
And we're not financial professionals.
Nope.
But we know a little bit. Like I kind of have a little background in finances.
I got accounting, back me up.
Yeah.
I can do everything probably except for your taxes. Hey,
right. And I could actually do your taxes.
Listen, see, listen. So listen. I could do everything in accounting except for taxes.
So you know
I know how to do the bank statements. I'm talking about multi-million-dollar company.
Yeah.
That's what I got on my background.
Right.
Okay, so whatever accounting is, sum it up, but I just didn't do taxes. Okay. I don't have to sit here and put a task with what I did. Guess what? I'm telling you what I did. It's just the truth. And then you can do the taxes. Don't call us for y'all money.
Right.
Because, listen, I'm going to be real. Can I just say this? But I don't want to mean it. But, like, it's so sad that this lady really, they ended her life because the dollar amount that she told somebody, this is right during tax season this year, and we're talking about in Miami Gardens, I think they went to her facility and murdered her. All because whatever deposit that was dropped into their account, it did not match up to what she told, and it went to her place of business and killed that woman. So I don't want to handle nobody money. That's what, I just wanted to add that.
Wow.
We could do each other personal.
It probably was a little bit deeper than that.
I don't know, but that's what the news stated. And this happened in 2021, City Miami Gardens. This woman had her life ended just because of what I previously stated. Wow. So I don't want to handle nobody money for my life. Okay, go ahead. I had to add that in there.
Okay. Mm-mm. So, and that's not a joking matter. It's just how she went about it.
I'm sorry.
But at the end of the day, condolences to the family and all of that.
Yes, I'm sorry that it happened.
To bring it back.
Okay.
I
just had to add that, but I appreciate it.
Yeah, so to bring it back, what you think that is important
for finances and budgeting?
Yes.
Number one, just know what your income is. That's the basic rule. My grandmother always taught me basically never count your eggs before they hatch.
Right.
So even though I might know where my money is going to go, because I get paid on Friday. Some people might get paid Wednesday. Some people might get paid Thursday. So for me, I get paid on Fridays, right? But in my head, by Monday or Tuesday of that week, I kind of know where my funds are going. But anything can change, especially when that money hits to that account. But it still have a plan.
Right.
It's okay to plan, meaning, and I could go just a little bit deeper. Even if, like for me, I'm a giver. Right. I put that in my budget that, you know what? This is coming up. I might have an extra money to give, and boom. So anything, especially finances, when you pay your bills, all of us, we pay bills. I'm assuming we all pay bills. Right. And I plan it.
If you're an adult, you paying bills.
Yes, but everybody don't pay bills as an adult now. You have some people probably out there who are really freeloaders. But we're not speaking on that. So back to finances and budgeting. So I pretty much really plan out where my money needs to go. Okay. And I don't have a checkbook. I don't know if that's outdated, but I don't have a checkbook, but I really plan exactly to the T where my funds are going. Okay.
So for me, when it comes down to budgeting, I actually have a spreadsheet. I made it. Yeah, I made one in Excel.
Okay.
So I write down all my expenses, my income, how much I pay in taxes, how much of my gross adjustments. Well, not gross adjustments, but my adjustments when it comes down to if I'm paying insurance and all of that stuff. So I know where every penny goes, even when it comes down to my bills. So I know what's left over. Also, too, I have helped other family members, other friends, and people I was involved with as well, help them to budget. And I basically presented them with the same type of, I actually had it handwritten down. My granddad showed me that. Right. And I just took from what he showed me and just turned it into my version of what it is. So I know where every dollar goes. So if I go to the bank, I know how much I'm pulling out. Right. If I go out, I know how much I'm capped at. Right. Those things in that. And also, I save. I try to save more than 10% of what my annual income is. Okay. And then go from there. Gotcha. Make sure I put money away from my son. Any other. So I think everything through. You know, if I know I want to buy a TV, or I need an appliance, or I know I need like a car maintenance, because everybody have maintenance on it. So I write all of those things down, like literally. And then when I do, I just basically not itemize, but basically just write down the increments. Right. And go from there.
Those line items are important.
Yes. And for those that may not want to write, we are like more technical savvy. You can also pull it up on some apps. Okay. You know, they have apps for budgeting, so you can know where every penny goes. Okay. And that's what I do when it comes down to budgeting. All right. And also, too, it keeps me from not living beyond my means. Right. You know, and what I have seen, like some people, they literally live beyond their means. And I told myself as I was growing up, that is something I don't want to do. Right. So I'm not here to impress, to prove anything to anybody. I really like to stay in my own lane and be my own man. So if I cannot do it, you want to be your own lady.
Listen, what? I tell them I don't have it.
Right. So
I tell people, listen, If I have it, I have it. If I don't, I don't. And I say it with a smile. You want to go here? No, I cannot.
That's what's
it's
up.
not the fact that I don't want to. And it's just I cannot. That was not in my budget. I have 2 kids. You know, we got bills over here just like everybody do. And I do it with a smile.
Right.
I'll be so happy to say I can't do it.
Right. So, and the reason for us talking about it, because you all may say, well, y'all not tax professionals or you are not financial professionals.
We're humans.
But the thing is, we're trying to spark conversation within our own community.
Right.
So that we can like impartate you all into what we do.
Right.
Like how we think as Geminis.
Yeah.
And just as regular people as well. And this is not to shame or insult or anything like that. It's just to spark the make you think a little bit. Like, dang, they even talk about budgeting?
Yes. We're humans. We have bills just like you.
So if you have like relationships or you planning on taking a trip.
Right.
I like to take trips, but I set aside a budget for that. So you all, if you were wondering or figuring out how Dwayne does it, like I have a certain type of regimen that I follow with my money.
Gotcha.
Like how people are good with fitness,
right?
And how people are good with, let's say, car maintenance, as far as like actually fits in the car,
right?
Or they're good into whatever they like,
right?
Like finances, I always was into it. You get what I'm saying? Ever since I was young, so I learned to save when I was young. So it's just something that was imparted in me, and then I went from there. So this is what I'm into,
right?
And I know T is too, because
I had something to say. I was waiting on you to finish.
No, go ahead.
So you triggered something in me that I do now and in the past, but whatever. But especially when you mentioned family and trips, right? So I'm speaking for me. I have multiple bank accounts.
That's what's
right?
up. Me too.
So multiple bank accounts, meaning everyday transactions, whatever, you know, your free money you want to splurge, right?
Right.
Then you have accounts for bills, right? Then you have accounts for savings, right? Then you have accounts for family trips. Like I have so many accounts that we only add and take away based off those accounts.
Right.
And I'm only speaking for how I'm able to budget. So I wanted to add that. And especially if you have kids involved or, you know, even in relationships. So say if I was in a marriage, right? And I learned this from Steve Harvey. He said this years ago. Like basically you need those accounts. Yeah. So that way you can budget, you can plan out. Like, you know what? We have this amount of money in the account. Let's say the kids out to do X, Y, and Z. Guess what? You go to that account and that's your budget. And whatever that budget is in that account,
stick to it.
I don't care, it was $50. Guess what? We go make it work.
You just can't go
with
get
$50.
some popcorns.
Listen, but guess what? It's an outing. The kids are going to love it. Like these kids really don't. Listen, I'm speaking for my kids. Okay, listen, don't count my money. Okay, but if mommy said let's go, and I'm gonna tell y'all what that budget is, God always make it work.
Gotcha.
So that's the amount. My daughter be like, "Mommy, did you see the tab?" I'm like, girl, we went over $7. But the one of the waitress came back. She said, I had to make some adjustments on your tab. I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't know what it was. That lady took off $12, $13.
That's what's up. Yeah.
But my daughter was like, did you see the new tab? I was like, girl, look at God. Listen, he went under the budget. That's how we roll over here. So I'm just speaking and really opening up how we roll. So especially for those married couples, not to say y'all doing something wrong or not, it's just that's what I was taught, and it really helps. It really works. Like it's okay for you to have your personal accounts, but you still need those joint accounts to where both parties are able to make those deposits. And then if you don't, hopefully you don't, I don't want to say the word, well, I don't trust that person just to go to the bank. They have the options to where both of you guys have to be there for the signature in order to withdraw funds.
Right. And also, too, the bank is a bank I have. They literally let you itemize the different accounts that you want to have. So you may have your main checking account. Okay. But then you can also add like a car maintenance. You're going to add like trips, other expenses that you may have, or other occurrences of financial need. You can also add that as well. So I have like one, but it's 7 of those accounts within that one.
Gotcha.
Between the two, my bad. So you have your
Wow.
savings and your
And your
checkings.
checking, right.
So then you have other accounts within those accounts. So
Okay.
I also would encourage people,
Right.
you know, to try that out. If you haven't figured it out, if you haven't
It's
thought
very
about
helpful.
it. Yes.
It's very helpful.
Yes.
Very helpful. And you have a peace of mind.
Yep.
And then when people, hey, can I borrow this? Be like, no, I don't have
You
it.
literally
and you
don't.
do it with a smile. Like, no, I don't have it. It was like, what? You probably do have it. It's just, man, them days over.
So I have learned, I think my granddad taught me this when I was young. He said, especially when I was in my 20s.
Okay.
He was like, do not lend out money
Hello.
you can't give away.
Hello. Listen.
You get what I'm saying?
Oh, listen.
Go ahead.
Yes, like you said, because I love my neighbors. Like, this is real talk.
Mm-hmm.
I had, it was an emotional night for me last night, to be honest, right?
Okay.
And I went to my neighbor. I don't got to tell you which neighbor, but I went to my neighbor. I said, you could come outside. And that person came outside, and that person walked into the conversation that I wanted to speak about.
Okay.
And guess what the conversation was about?
Tell me.
Finances, budgeting, and family. That person just came out like, man, T, let me tell you something. Listen, my bills paid, my kids happy.
That's what's
I'm
up.
just vibing, and I'm over here was just like,
Let's give them a round of
come
applause.
on, hey, come on, drop them gems. And this is last night, and I was like, that's why I asked you to come outside, because it was something on my heart that I really was in a dark place, that I left the phone in the house. And guess what? When you have those neighbors and God would tell you just to go knock on this person's door. What I mean, my night last night, not to try to steer off, but it's just to say that was the conversation that I personally had last night. And like my dad said, this is what I'm adding to what you said. Last night when I concluded, I said, listen, my dad taught me one thing when it came about, two things when it came about money. The first thing is, somebody want to give it to you, take it. Done. Right? Cool. Right. The second thing, if somebody want to borrow money and you give it to them, he said, if you give them whatever that dollar amount is, don't look for it. Okay. If you feel like you need that money back or anything, like right back, or I'm going to give it to you on Friday.
And you
if
be
you
looking
really
for it,
need it, don't give it to, do not give it away. So if I do anything in my head mentally, I don't need it back. But if I know, if I need it back, I'm going to tell you I ain't got it. It's just the fact that I don't have it. I really just don't have it to give it to you, because what if you take it away from me and you don't give it back? That was on me. That's not on you. Right.
And I also heard of an individual that was like, I forgot what I was going to go with it, but I don't want to basically give something to an individual that I would have to desperately chase after it. Like, gotcha. I'm not gonna go out there and just give all this money and then I have nothing and then I'll be looking for it.
Right.
Like, if I have to look for it, so I give you an analogy that my granddad gave me.
Okay.
He was like, I know how to keep people away.
Oh, can you please help me? Not to say I have those people in my life, but just in case if I come across anybody.
So I know how to keep people away, and we talking about finances.
Right.
So I was like, huh? He's like, yeah, I know how to keep people away. Give them money that owe you. So so let me explain it.
Okay.
So basically, he had an individual that came to his house.
Okay.
And
I get
they need the money.
Yes.
So he's like, I'm tired of this individual coming to me.
Okay.
You know what? Bum, bum, bum.
Here you go.
Thank you. Now.
They go get goals?
Exactly.
Drop them gems. They go get goals.
Yeah.
I never thought of it that way.
Now, the individual won't come back to the crib, to his house. They're gonna go back to their house, of course.
Okay.
But they won't come back to my granddad's house just to pull up on them, because they already know
they owe him.
Exactly.
So now they're going to get ghosts.
Exactly.
So that person still can't even check up on me to see if
they will. So they will. Because they're trying to figure it out. Let's see what kind of mood he in or something like that.
What?
But if it's like, you want to keep certain people away,
give it to them.
But see, I'm not a fool, right?
Right.
So me personally, if I know that you're gonna be, like a leech,
okay,
or you're gonna always be asking, I'm gonna just like, yo, bro, this is my last time. Like, I have given people money and made a contract with them.
Wow.
Yeah, literally wrote out a contract and they had to sign it.
Is this for like thousands of dollars or any
so
amount?
I can't speak on the amount.
Wow, but you still had a contract?
I had to make a contract.
I never did nothing
You
in my
get what I'm
life.
saying? So,
never did a contract.
I know, but I had to
Wow.
do it because I needed them to understand that I'm serious.
That you serious.
You know what I'm saying?
I respect that. Hey, drop them gems. Listen, I never heard no. Listen, I want to.
Like it's a
what? I was like a contract.
Yeah,
Listen.
and then if you wanted to, and then I learned this too in psychology class. I think to be assertive. Be assertive about what is owed. So they gave the example like this, how to be assertive. So that was just thrown out there, right?
Right.
So you had to figure it out, how to be assertive.
Okay.
So and I'm gonna get back to the finance part.
Okay.
So how to be assertive is basically just meaning what you say and stick to it.
Gotcha.
Now, if you are a person that value the relationship, in a relationship with me, and I do something for you, and you say I owe you, if you're a man of your word, you're gonna do exactly what you say.
Okay.
So me personally, I don't walk around like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna hold it over your head. But you already know in your heart that you owe me. Right. You get what I'm saying? Right. And so if I give it, understand I'm giving it. Right. Yeah, it may go away. Right. But I'm still looking for that. You value my relationship. Right. If you do, right, you'll give it back to me.
Because listen, we have a business, we business partners, right? And we do business, finances, transactions. Right. And hopefully I'm doing okay with our business finances. Yes. Because listen, if we agree on something and I just be like, well, can you just tell me the amount? But I'm asking. I say, you know what, T, when you got time to freaking figure it out, you just do it. And I'm just speaking of how we do. And I'm like, okay, I've been asking for 2 to 3 days. T, you got the time? Do the calculation. Hey, can I just send this over? And his response is, okay, thank you. And boom, because for me, I love communication. Right. And I don't want to just throw money at people because we're human. Right. Not to speak this on you. You don't know someone's account is in a negative. So why cash app you something to where that person be like, no, you sent it to the wrong account. No. So for me, you need to give me verbal confirmation. And when it comes to finances, because I don't want to know other people's financial situations. So for me, DP, it's okay for me to send this? Yeah. Can I send it to this location? Yeah. And you have to say, yes, okay. You have to tell me something.
Actually,
and then within seconds, I sent it.
I lost a couple of dollars doing man, that cash app, bro. Bro.
You need to do the Zelle. You ain't got the Zelle.
So I do, but I have it with a different account. See, and I don't even have access to that. Like, I don't have access to walk. And that's another thing. Okay. I'm going to bring that up real quick. Okay. If you know you have a goal, right? And I had to learn this. If you have a goal to save, make sure you don't have access to it.
Oh, I like that.
You get what I'm saying? So that's one thing I kind of teach my family, right? Especially like my sister. Okay. Don't have access to it. Okay. So they may come to me, hold this for a couple of months, right? You know, because they're trying to reach a goal, right? And once they get to the goal, I let them know. Hey. That's how I taught my sister. Okay. And she's great at saving now, right? But I had to learn that for myself. Okay. Don't have access. If you have to literally get up and drive, right, to the bank to get your money, you ain't gonna want to do it. You ain't gonna want to do it.
Nah, you gonna try to figure it out.
So you put the smaller amount into a more accessible bank account. Okay. But then that bigger amount, you just keep it kind of distance where you have to do that whole mission to get to where you gotta go.
And we tell them like some resources to where what accounts might be out there for people to only make deposits and it's really hard for them to withdraw, because I think I had one account like that before.
Okay.
And I'll do the research, and so we can drop it in the link here on this episode.
Okay.
And I think it took like 1 or 3 days for it to actually transfer over to your account.
Yeah.
So you might need that money on Tuesday or Wednesday, but it's not coming until days later.
And it's to make you think.
It's just to make you think, but like, do I really need that? And guess what? I never really took the money out, because I was like, I need it now.
Right.
I don't want to wait for 2 to 3 days, but I just wanted to add that.
What you were saying about the different accounts, I know like one account is like maybe a CD account where you hold it and you gain some type of interest.
Right.
And it doesn't make no money for you.
Right.
Especially nowadays. Back in the day it did.
Right.
And also a holiday account.
Okay.
Like I have probably like 2 or 3 of them.
Okay.
Where I just save money to a period of time during the year.
Okay.
And I think most people may know about it. If you don't, I just well, the account is made for a season, so you'll save up till that season comes, and then they would disperse the money back to you that you saved.
Gotcha.
And then once it's dispersed, then it starts over again.
Right.
So I think that's really good, and then you'll have to actually like pay a fee if you try to get that money out before it's time, before it matures.
Wow.
So yeah, I think that's a great, awesome way of kind of saving. I think we do all need to know and learn to save and not spend all your money.
Hello, save versus spend.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then like, okay, so I'm gonna get a little bit kind of deep or step on a couple of people's toes.
All right.
So we know that people have habits and hobbies.
Right.
Like maybe gambling.
Right.
Also smoking.
Right.
Drinking.
Of course.
And I told a couple of my a couple of people I know.
Okay.
I said, why you don't have a budget for it?
Right.
Like if you know you play the lotto, for example.
Oh, yes.
If you play the lotto or you gamble,
right,
why not just save the $60,
right,
$100,
right,
include that into your budget?
I surely do.
And I understand the greed factor comes in. It's not like I condone it or I'm against it.
Right.
But if you have, because that becomes a problem in, let's say, a household.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Or you being late behind on bills and stuff like that.
So you overspent.
Right, because you're greedy.
Yeah.
You know, people will take their check literally and go gamble it thinking they're going to bounce, come up.
Not good. No
and
judgment.
Then they don't bounce back from that loss.
I understand.
You get what I'm saying? Then you got the payday advance and all that stuff that puts you deeper in debt because you'll never catch up.
Listen, personally, just to add, I had one years ago when Amsky, you see those commercials, because I used to be there. Okay. And I thought I needed it. And this was years ago, right? But it was always those commercials like, what? I could go do it. But listen, people. But once you get into those, I guess it's called cash advancements places, it's like you have to pay that money back. So you get the money, but when you get paid, they say, hey, give it back. Right. But by that time, a week or 2 weeks went by, something else came up to where.
But that's like, the system.
Don't do it.
The
Please
system,
do not do it.
Yep.
I understand people, you might need it. When I mean do the budget, that means just do your budget more, because those advanced places are not for us.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. That's to put
Sorry,
you
just to
like
really be real.
10 steps
it took
back.
me almost a year to get out, just to get a lousy 500. And I'm being real.
Right.
And the girl looking at my pay stub, not to tell you what I make, but she looking like, why are you here? It took them a long, like she was like, we need to pull up your bank account like on your phone. Even though they ask you for your pay stubs, I gave them all the documents, paper documents. But they looking at my pay stubs like, why you here? We need to see these deposits in your account. So I really had to get my phone, open up my banking app, and I had to show these people on my phone, like, that go to deposit right there. And they probably looking at me like, what the heck? Excuse me, what the hell you doing here?
But they probably thought you were like getting money or
And
doing
it
some
was
fraudulent,
stupid. Listen,
fraudulent
all
stuff.
that stuff was going on. God was trying to give me the red flags that you don't need it. You don't need it. And guess what? My dumb behind got it. And literally, it took me almost 10 months to get out of it.
Wow.
Because you get the money, you got to give it back.
Right.
And like, it was.
And then you have to pay interest.
You have to pay. No. This one is not interest.
Okay.
Oh, no. It was interest.
I was about to
You're
say.
right. I did have to pay
That's
interest.
why you go. That's
it
why
was stupid.
it's like a 200%.
It was whatever percentage it was. It was stupid.
Right, but it's more than 50. It's more than 50.
Well,
but you don't see it.
To be honest.
But you don't see it.
Man,
you're
right.
It's a whole system.
It's stupid,
set
y'all.
Out for
Please do not go to those freaking advanced places. And I know people got pride.
So
I don't want to ask a family or friend,
right.
but what if for those people who probably really, really, really need it, what advice can we give them outside of budgeting? Like, what advice can we give them?
So, to what? To get ahead?
Don't go to the advancement places.
So, first of all, because I wouldn't know, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm only going to assume.
Okay.
Right. Worst case scenario, right? But you work.
Yes.
Okay.
You have to show your income for them to give it to you.
So sometimes at a job, you can ask for a check advance.
I never had a job that would give me a check advance.
Sometimes you will have
we have bonuses, but not a check advance.
No, they would literally pay you especially if you work a set hours.
Okay.
They will give you a check advance.
Oh, that's a blessing.
At your job.
Okay.
So you have to seek and search for that type of benefit.
Okay.
Right. So let's say you get a check advance, and I'm gonna do it how I would do it.
Okay.
Right. I'm deep in debt. Right.
Right.
And I need to get ahead. I owe this payday advance people.
Okay.
Let's say the $500.
Right.
So I only make $1,200 every 2 weeks.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So what I would do basically is I would get a check advance. So that means I'll be working basically 4 weeks with I'll be getting paid for 4 weeks.
Right.
Right. So that means I have how much? 24.
Right.
Okay. If I got $2,400 and I owe the people $5.
Right.
Let's say $600.
Okay.
I'm taking $6.
Okay.
And I'm giving it to the people.
Right.
Now, whatever debtors that I do owe, I would try to catch up.
Okay.
So let's say it's the light bill, the water bill,
right.
My cell phone.
Okay.
And what else major bill we may have?
The mortgage, you got rent, car insurance.
So let's say car insurance, because most likely people won't try to be behind on their mortgage, I want to say.
Oh, it's real out there.
So let's say, okay, you behind on all your bills.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I'm behind on all my bills, I would try to do. Now Miami is different, right?
Okay.
So Miami is more expensive.
I'm about to say that the cost of living up here is for the birds.
So it's expensive. Okay. So I'm just thinking in a practical way how to get rid of my debt. Okay. So what I would do is I would sit up there and I would try to pay all my bills. Leave at least $200 for myself. Okay. And that is not to go out and party. Okay. All right. That is to actually live the next 4 weeks on a strict budget. Yes. Meaning I will not be cooking. I will not be eating out. I will be cooking. Right. Right. Let's say if I do have transportation, I have enough gas money to last me the 4 weeks. Right. Right. So that's minimum movement. Okay. Right? Yes. And then I would try to find me a quick cash job. Okay. In the midst of it? Right. Wow. So when I do have availability, I have the time to myself. Okay. I will be trying to hustle for some money. I like that. So if I'm washing cars, cutting the yard. Got you. Also, too, I can go to a restaurant to ask them, hey, can I take out the trash for the next 2 weeks? Okay. Clean up behind everybody, pay me under the table.
Hey, drop them gems, because I ain't thinking nothing like that. Listen, that's what, listen, I ain't think of all that now.
So, or for
Wow.
women, you can go and wait tables because they'll hire a girl real quick.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? Especially if you have certain attributes.
Right.
They'll hire you just right there. And girls can make like up to $1,200 off of just tips alone.
To do
in
what?
one
Just to
night.
serve drinks?
Serve drinks, to be a waitress.
They
and
doing
stuff,
that right now today?
Yeah.
So I can go to somebody place and really just show these tatas,
Yes.
and I can go get what
women.
we need to talk after this.
For women,
Real talk.
no, because I dated a girl. She was very pretty.
Even a plus size girl like me.
Listen,
Okay.
I dated a girl that was pretty, and she was able to make a lot of money just off of her face alone.
Wow.
You get what I'm saying? And then she didn't even have to have good service.
Okay.
Let's say. But just starting off, like literally, you can probably find a little hustle real quick, and also too call around, because some people are good with their hands.
Right.
People always want to move. So you can always help them move and get a little $50 here, maybe $25.
You talking to the men right now.
Right.
Okay.
So, and I want to kind of stay in that lane.
Gotcha.
Because I don't want to go over there to the girl, because I think that's crazy.
That
but
we
anyway,
shouldn't have to do it, huh? That us women shouldn't have to do what you're saying?
No, if y'all have to, y'all have to. Because
okay.
some women do.
I'm just asking.
No, I'm just saying.
Oh,
They probably would. So from there, figure it out. Try to figure it out.
Okay.
See if you can just find some local jobs. Like I watch some of the Hispanic guys. They get a truck and they just go around picking up all metal. Also picking up pallets. You can make some good money off of picking up pallets, especially here in Miami, because you got the port. Different ways. Maybe work at a tire shop.
All right.
I'm just thinking of quick little hustle you probably can get your hands in.
Right. Until your next paycheck to get you out of that.
Well,
debt.
we talking about that month. Because once let's put it like this, the next 6 weeks, because you'll probably already be in a deficit, and then you'll have to wait 2 more weeks to get that check.
Right.
But let's do the 6 weeks, right?
Okay.
And this is what I'll be doing.
All right.
Because I have to figure it out. I'll make a couple of phone calls. Hey, listen, I'm in desperate times.
All right.
I need your help. This, that, and the
Gotcha.
third. Because I'm not no street dude. I'm not going to go to no street and do all that foolishness.
All right.
But, and whatever, everybody feel however they may feel about it. But I'm not going to that extent.
Right.
So I'm going to do another type of hustle.
Right.
Which is doing a kind of honest hustle, trying to figure it out.
Gotcha.
Like I say, make phone calls and just put my hands to use. People, and try to do what people refuse to do, which is like things on the roof, out in the sun. Plumbing.
Gotcha.
If you can just be a plumbing aide, I don't know, hand them just the tools.
Right.
Like I say, cleaning. People don't want to clean, so you can just get through the back door, go to the store, not the grocery store, but like a corner store. Hey, can I clean and get something? So that's what I would do if I was trying to bounce back. Pretty sure if you do that consistently, you will be ahead by the time you get to that 6 week.
Gotcha.
And if you're ahead, then you will advance. And then if you keep that mojo, and I learned this, we have 52 weeks in a year. And so if you get paid like I do, we get paid bi-weekly. So some months you may have 3 months out of the year where you get paid 3 times. Right. And then other months is just 2 months out of the year.
Exactly.
So if you calculate it and you stay on top of your bills, I learned this.
Okay.
If you constantly pay your bills with your budget, you will always be a month ahead.
Wow.
You just have to let 1 year pass. Right. And then the following year, you will be 2 months
ahead.
And then the following year, you will be 3 months ahead. And the objective is to be 6 months ahead.
Gotcha.
So if you continue that within a 4 year span of time.
You way more advanced than I am.
Yeah. So I learned these things.
I applaud you. I really do.
Thank God for that. But I had learned these things where I tried it out. You know, I test people with my hands.
Okay.
So I remember the guy told me about it, and I was like, "You sure that works?"
Okay.
And then I actually wrote it down.
Gotcha.
Wrote it out, and I did it.
And you did it.
And I was 8 months.
Okay.
Ahead in bills.
Oh, we need to talk.
Well, let me tell you something.
Sure.
I was so ahead, right? I stopped paying.
Because I'm over here paycheck to paycheck. I'm that person right now, and my life set up. I'm paycheck to paycheck.
Right. So
we need to talk.
So I was 8 months ahead one time, right?
This man 8 months ahead.
Listen. I was 8 months ahead, and then my dumb behind stopped paying.
You stopped paying your bills.
Just stop. Bam.
Because you was already ahead.
I was already, because I already calculated.
Right.
Once I do this final payment, then I'm going to be 8 months ahead. And I didn't know. So I said, I'm going to let 4 months pass. Because I'm going to still be 4 months ahead.
So what did you do with the money that was still coming in?
I was saving it.
Oh, wow.
I was saving it.
I was just asking.
What I should have done was just paid it off.
Gotcha.
You get what I'm saying? Right. Or just kept being ahead so I can be a year ahead.
Right.
If I was close to 8, meaning I can get close to 12.
You was knocking at the door.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I ain't do that.
You ain't do that? All right, but we still can talk. I want to be there. Listen, life is all about growth.
Right.
Okay? And you really need to just be real.
Right.
And surround yourself with like-minded people. True. And just know that sometimes you might come across somebody, I don't want to point no fingers, might be more advanced than you. But guess what? It's okay.
Right. So
it's okay.
So the thing is, it's other people that I surrounded myself around that just knew these formulas.
Wow.
And it's like I say, it's all a system.
Gotcha.
So you just have to figure the system out.
Gotcha.
Once you figure it out, you will always be advanced. If you knew the answers to the test, you telling me you gonna fail the test?
Heck no.
Right.
Hey, I remember them days. I'm kind of getting off subject.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Bring it back. Okay. So back to finances.
Forward.
So back to finances.
Right.
I was about to go somewhere else.
No.
Thank you.
No,
so how do you feel about Bitcoins, stocks, what's really going on now? Like, how do you feel about
that right there will be a need in the future. Like, it will be somewhere in the midst in the future.
Okay.
But as far as right now, I just think that's a thing they're trying. They're trying to figure out, because they have to have some type of structure with that.
Okay.
So that would just be something in the future. I'm not gonna say it's a bad investment. I looked at mine the other day.
Okay.
And I looked at mine today, and I was just like, I want to take my money out.
Okay.
But I listen to older folks that kind of know certain
they say let it sit
patterns.
there.
Right. They know certain patterns, and they'll tell you no,
let it sit. Let it sit.
Long as it don't, and I understand somewhat of investment, long as it doesn't pass a certain threshold of let's say the drop.
Right.
That's my own little terminology.
Okay.
Long as it doesn't pass that threshold, then you're good. But if it drops to your threshold and maintain, then keep it there. Eventually, it'll go back up. Because this is all what charts does.
Gotcha.
Is go up and down.
Can I add, like, anything that we're speaking about, if we have any specialists, like, even if you guys know a specialist for any topic, like, really send them our way. So that way we can have professionals actually give us more knowledge on things. It's some therapists out there, financial advisors out there. It's a lot of specialists. If I had known,
I would have grabbed somebody.
Hey, next time.
I remember I went to a financial advisor.
Okay.
And I showed him my budget.
Okay.
You know that man tried to take my budget to put towards his clients.
You lost me at the last few words.
So I had my spreadsheet.
Okay.
And I had brought it to him.
Okay.
And
you was more advanced than him? Is that what you're telling me?
No. I doubt that. I really doubt that. Me and my brother was talking. He was just saying he trying to run game on you. Because
I was like, what?
So I had brought my budget sheet because I wanted to make sure, once my son was born, I wanted to make sure I was right.
Okay.
But I knew I was only at a certain point.
Right.
But I wanted to advance to a higher level.
Okay.
So by the time I get older,
my
son would be taken care of.
Gotcha.
Like, if I leave right then.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Right. So, well, not now, but
of course, I got what you're saying.
So I had went to the financial advisor. I was forward two through one of my homies and his auntie.
Okay.
And she took me to she gave me the number and I went.
All right.
Sat down with the guy with my son with me. He's like, you bring your whatever. So he was impressed.
Okay.
But and then the fact that I was black.
All right. Well, okay. No, keep going.
Okay. So. Sat down with the guy, and then I just handed him my budget sheet.
Okay.
And he looked at it. He's like, "Can I take this real quick?"
Okay.
So he went to the other guy, his partner.
Okay.
Showed the partner the what's the name.
Gotcha.
Came back in the room. I
All
didn't
right.
know that the partner was standing there in the doorway.
Oh.
Waiting, just wanted to listen.
Right.
So he asked me a couple of questions and I
Okay.
answered it. And he's like, so what made you do the budget and all that stuff?
Okay.
And why you think this way when it comes down to my spreadsheet?
All right.
Because I didn't think the regular, gross and net, I thought a different way. And he was just trying to figure it out. Like, how does that work?
Okay.
So then he was like, can you send me the SL
Okay.
format?
Wow.
I said, no.
No.
He's like, I knew you was going to say no.
Thank you. Like, you should have had that.
I said no,
Because he could have used that tool for his business and get profit.
That's exactly what he wanted to do. So what I did was,
he should have paid you. He should have gave you a big fat check. If I was a real business person, like, look, I can utilize this tool. How about if I give you $500K? Would that be okay for me to get that spreadsheet? You would have gave it to him?
I would have gave it to him, but I would have worked out a deal where I get some type of royalty off of that. So you pay me.
He didn't bring that to the table, though?
He's not. He's not. And
I'm just asking questions.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, of course.
So he was like impressed.
Yeah.
So when I left the office, all of them ended up standing up and watching me walk out.
Right. Did you go back?
No, I didn't go back because I didn't need to at the time.
Okay.
So he was telling me he set something up for me at my job.
Okay.
And I applaud him for doing it for the free.
Right.
You feel me?
I
was very impressed.
Okay.
So he did something for me.
You impressed him because you gave him the idea. You understand?
And then he did take something from me too.
Yeah.
So he had he worked something out at my job where we ended up doing some type of payment thing.
Okay.
It's not like a 529 or nothing like that. It was something different on my deferment.
All right.
So he showed me something and then I was able to apply it. So it's nothing I see now today with it later on in the future.
Right.
So he did that for me for the free. And then he was telling me I need to come back because he wanted to have something spread it out for me and my to make options. But I didn't go back because I felt like I wasn't prepared. Like I didn't have enough to come back with him and put something on the table back towards him. Okay. So however that worked out, but that's what ended up happening with that financial advisor. So anyway,
yes,
to move forward. Let's keep going. And that's not to brag none of that stuff. Just showing you the capability that we all have. Right. We just have to learn how to apply to our lives.
Because there's more topics we can go in with finances and budgeting, 401k, life insurance.